What's up, my loves and fellow creatives? I'm just checking in. We're going to go over quickly our template number 233. We are on this track to make sure that we maximize your back to school season. So I want to get you all in there. And one of the things that we talked about is football season. But there are some other organizations and teams that you can target in the same exact season using even the same exact templates. Okay. So this one says, "My heart is on that field." However, you can change the text to whatever you can dream of. We're going to go ahead and get into this one. This is going to be a quick flip template, less than 5 minutes. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and get into it. All right, the first thing that we'll do is we'll go ahead and change out the photo here. So I'm going to right click, go to photo, and right up here at the top, I also saved your photo in your color so that they have easy access. But either way, you can double click on the photo and you'll see that there is a photo there. We're going to go ahead and bring over a football image. So I'll show you how you can turn this from band to football. And this image does have a background. So really quickly, I was just going to show you how you can use Photoshop to remove the background. So we'll go to our object selection tool on the left-hand side. Then I'll go to the drop-down arrow here next to select subject. I'm going to choose the cloud because it's going to give me a cleaner cutout. Then I'll tell it to select the subject, and it's going to do a little thinking there. Okay, and it did a pretty decent job of selecting the subject here, but still I go to select and mask just so I can see how clean it is. Sometimes I smooth out the mask if I feel like it's a little jagged edge there. And then I might feather it by a single pixel. If you're going to add like a hard stroke outline around it, don't feather it more than a pixel or two, because then you will really see that that edge. Also, if you are going to add an outline, you may want to smooth it a little bit more so that if you have any imperfections and little bumpiness in the outline, it will magnify that if you choose a stroke. Okay, so here we are. I can go ahead and say okay here. And let's go ahead and make a layer mask by clicking on this rectangle with the circle in the middle. That's your layer mask. I'll turn off my existing image here. And then I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. Okay. And let's go ahead and hit enter to lock in that transformation. As I close out, I want to hit yes to save so that I'm saving my smart object. All right, we're just making sure that I'm on live with y'all because StreamYard has been tripping lately. All right, there we go. I think y'all would have told me by now if you can't hear me. Hey, Sheila. Hey, Brittany. All right. So the next thing we want to go ahead and pick our colors, right? So for this particular team, they're wearing green and gold here. It's a little bit different gold than I already have selected. So what I'm going to do is use my color picker tool here to go ahead and select the green. Now, if I had a logo, I would prefer to select the color from the logo because when you're selecting colors from what someone's wearing, you really don't know what you're gonna get. It's like like a box of chocolates. All right, so we selected that green. I'm going to go ahead and check on my swatches over here. If I double click on the green swatch and tell it to add it to the swatches, then I can call this my school green, okay? So if you were doing this for a particular school and you were already picking all of the colors from the logos from the schools, you might as well add it to your swatches. And I'm gonna call this one school green, okay? And then I'll hit okay. And what happens is it saves it down here into my swatches. Now I can go ahead and pick the yellow or the gold, and I'm going to choose a very different gold than what's already here. So I'm actually going to choose more of this yellowish color. And right there. Okay, and then again, I go add to swatches while I'm already in my color picker, and then I'll call this one school gold. All right, and as you can see, those added to the bottom there. I can hit cancel now. That way, anytime I change my colors, I have a nice little saved library swatch to work with. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is go to my color number 1. That's where it is currently burgundy. So let's double click on that. And then what I'll do is go ahead and change that color. As long as you have it selected, all you have to do is tap on the color. So since my primary color is green for that school, I'm going to choose the green, hit yes to save. And you see how that automatically colors that in there. Same thing for color number 2. I'm going to double click. I'm just going to bring this on top to make sure that it's being used. And then I'm going to change it to this yellow gold instead of the Vegas gold. All right. You see how that immediately changed the whole theme? It's pretty much right on time. Now, what I have also done is put some patterns in here for you. So, for instance, the word my, if you right click on the word my, you'll see text 1. And if you go all the way down, you'll see the word my. Okay, so we can change this text by double clicking on the T and typing whatever we want there. For this one, you're probably going to keep it as my heart is on that field. But just imagine you can say, my heart is in heaven with, a person's name, or you don't even have to do that. Your heart is on a field. Your heart is absolutely anywhere. You can just do a standard text of, football mom, and then just put the heart and then have the football player. So this is just a suggestion of text and a suggestion for how you can implement these templates, but you can go crazy and make up your own text here. Okay. All right, so I'm going to keep it as my heart is on that field so that you all won't have to tussle with that. But I do want you to see that I have a couple of patterns here. Right now, I have a tiger print, I have a camo, and then I have this elephant print here. So you can choose either of those for tonight. But we have several courses and videos showing you how to create your own pattern from scratch, or how to bring in a pattern if you have a square pattern and you want to pull that in. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to go with the elephant print here for this one. And I want you to notice that with that, you can, it has the color layer applied to it. But if the color is not applying quite how you want, you can add a levels here. And I'm just going to add a levels just to show you what that does. And let's say you want it to be brighter or lighter. You can change those levels up. You can change the shadows, the midtones, and the highlights to let the color apply differently to the colors that are underneath. Another thing I would suggest here, when you're not using color mode, let's say you want to use another blend mode like multiply, it picks up whatever the color is underneath it. So this one has a green underneath it. This one has an orange. You could also add a black and white adjustment layer. Where is black and white? There it is. So what black and white does, it makes everything gray tone. So although it was orange that it was being applied, so I'm going to take off the yellow there. So if we take off the black and white, I want you to see that the orange is there. Okay. And the blend mode, if I change the blend mode to multiply, It's still going to have that orange as the tone that it's applying to. However, if you turn on the black and white, it'll change it to a gray tone first, then applying the color. That way you get a cleaner color. And this is really, really noticeable if you're doing complementary colors. Like if you're doing an orange and a blue or orange and a purple, you can really tell that it won't give you the true color that you want. So depending on the blend mode that you use, you may have to activate a black and white layer or your levels in order to achieve the results that you want. Let's say this is maybe a little too dark for you, then you can turn the levels off and see if you get your original contrast back, or you can adjust your levels here until you get a little more contrast. And I see a little more contrast. I'm going to brighten it up a little bit. And see how I'm getting more contrast so I can see my print inside of there. Even though I'm using a really dark green, I can still see my print. And it's only because I am adjusting those levels. Okay. So I do want you to be aware of that. These are advanced Photoshop techniques, but that's the reason why we make the template so easy, because every time you deal with them, you're going to learn a little something extra. Okay. That is pretty much it. I did also want to show you, if you have something hanging outside the heart that you want to clean up, let's quickly do something with that. I want you to go to the heart here. Okay. We're going to control click it. You see it takes some marching ants. And right now the image is popping out of the heart. We want it to stay popping out of the heart, but maybe we don't want it to continue down here. So I have a generic layer mask right now that's just a little faded off at the bottom, but you can exactly make sure that nothing comes outside of here if you take the inverse of it. So we're going to go to select inverse, and I'm going to take my paintbrush here, and I am going to brush away down here. You notice it's not taking anything off inside of here, but it is definitely cleaning up around this heart area. Okay, and I'll show you the difference when I bring back the or bring up the drummer image. Okay, so that just makes it so, like, let's say their feet are hanging off, or maybe it's just something down there that doesn't look right, and then that way you can do Control D to deselect from the layer mask or from the marching ants, and you can still move your player around. You see that, and he's not going to go below into that area. Okay. So that's how this file is set up. So it can be super easy. You can go ahead and get on there and go. Now there is a layer in the background where I have like the mascot eyes. Your mascot may not have eyes. So what you can do, you can turn that off entirely, or you can choose to put a different type of image back there. Maybe you want to put a different logo. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to change it out. Instead of the tiger, I'll double click on the animal eyes, and I've included a little wolf in here for y'all. This AI generated. All right, so I'll say yes to save those changes. And the way that you change it out is just to do simply double click on it and do File, Place Embedded, and place in your new image there. Okay, or you can, just like we did before, you can drag and drop it from your folder onto the artboard. Okay, so that is it in a nutshell. I'm going to go ahead and change this pattern out. I think I said I wanted to do I wanted to do the crackle elephant print effect. And then for that field, let's go with the camo. And I want to see if I'd rather go with the gold. And see, this is precisely what I was talking about. So the gold is just naturally a lighter color, or a color that is going to require us to change up these levels here. So if I change the levels now, I'm going to see more of that pure yellow color. It's going to allow my color to apply differently. And what I want to do is change the scale of the pattern here. So I'm going to double click on the pattern. And right now it's at 56%. If I put it on 23%, you see how my pattern got smaller? If I put it at 80%, then my pattern gets even bigger. You can go higher, and then you don't see really the pattern at all. So it really depends on how much detail you want to see there. I want to go maybe 35 because I do want to see the camo there. All right. And of course, you can change the text on the It's On. And we have a solid color black there, but you can also let it be one of the other colors here. So I want you all to get used to using your, of course, your smart colors, but using your blend modes, and then also using the levels when it's necessary to apply color to a pattern that you put in here. Okay. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead and save this variation. My best way to save this one, this is just a 13 by 19 art. If you want to do this as an all over, my suggestion would be to let this be your foreground and choose a different image for your background, maybe even another template where you can remix it and have like the paint splashes as the background, plus this will be its own foreground image. So I'm not going to do this one as an all over. This one is primarily just for like a 13 by 19. All right, so we can right click here where it says Art 233. Quick export as PNG. And we'll go ahead. This is our third variation here. I'm going to switch that out. And you all are ready to go. All right, and I'll show you that basically it took me more time to explain how to do this than it actually takes to do it. And this is another variation that was pretty much created in less than, I believe it was 3 minutes I timed it. So just changing out the colors, changing out the image in the background, of course, changing out the photo. And if you want to, you can even include the school's logo in here, okay? All right, so that's it, y'all. I made this one super simple. I wanted to make sure that you all are hitting the ground running this school season. No excuses, no reason at all why you all shouldn't be making what you can normally make during a graduation season. You can absolutely prime your entire year by getting that same type of money, those same type of orders during this football season, during this back to school season, and then the school will be begging for you to help them during graduation season. So if you thought graduation season was busy, then you really want to have your Shopify store up and running. You really want to be doing this strategy right now, not a week from now, not 2 weeks from now when you think everything's perfect. Go ahead and get it done. You all launched your Shopify stores. You have beautiful websites. You have somewhere for your customers to go and communicate with you. So let's make the best use of it. And let me know how that's going for y'all. Okay. All right, so y'all will be able to do this class if you're in VIP or Platinum VIP, which is our Craft to Quit program. You have access to the live class tonight. The template will be available at 7 p.m. and you can download that template, be ready for class at 8 p.m. Go ahead and have your own photo if you want to change this photo out. I'll be including some in the template so you can change things out and get used to it if you don't have those things prepared. But if you have a school in mind, which you should, because you should, from the last Shopify challenge, you should have a target school in mind. I want you to go ahead and do this project for a school that you know that you would be able to post this within the next 24 hours, and someone is going to ask you about ordering that product, okay? I am 100% sure of it. As long as you do the work, you put it out there, put it on your Facebook, your Instagram, your social media. Go ahead and put it somewhere where the kids will see it and the parents will see it, and let the work do the work. Okay. All right, my loves, I appreciate y'all. I love you dearly. Until next time. Bye. Y'all take it easy. Oh, if you've never done Photoshop, come to our free Photoshop class on Saturday. If you've never done Photoshop and you're scared of it, you just keep watching these videos, y'all, we have a solution for that. Come on Saturdays. I know I told y'all bye. But come on Saturday. There's a free workshop where you're going to get hands-on experience. You're going to design something pretty much just like this from scratch. And you're going to learn how to set up your workspace so your workspace will look exactly like mine. You won't miss a beat. And then you can start coming to the Wednesday classes, or when we do special classes on the weekends, you can come to those classes and you'll be caught up in with just one little orientation class. Okay. All right. For real. Y'all this time. Bye.